So I'm going to tell the parables of the birds and fishes. And last week, and despite the fact that I did start in 1974, I was actually rappelling in the Bay of Fundy off the cliffs of the Hopewell Rocks. And I do this, I've done this for 3 decades with friends. It's kind of like our spring fishing trip, a little bit of a perverted one. But I was about 100 feet in the air, coming down on this ledge, and a peregrine falcon came off the ledge and came right, and the nest was right there with 3 brown eggs in it. And the bird started buzzing my head. And I was so happy because 25 years ago, I was part of a team that released those birds in Fundy National Park. And that's a direct, that bird is a direct descendant of those birds we released over 5 years in Fundy National Park, which is now spread out into the entire bay and is one of the healthiest populations of peregrines anywhere. But what's even more cool is I learned to rappel building the hack box to release those birds. But on the other side of the cut at Point Wolf and Fundy, we built a visitor look-off and put in a scope. And so people could actually watch this reintroduction in progress. And people would come back every year and say, are the birds back? Did they come back? Did they survive? And sometimes we had birds released that would die and they would agonize over it. But literally tens of thousands of people were involved in that release in a very tangible way. And the other cool thing we got to do there was open up a dam on the Point Wolf River and reintroduce salmon back to that river, which had been stopped by the dam for years. And of course, we hired a helicopter and had all of these fish. We worked with a fish hatchery and dropped them up and down the river. But we kept several thousand fish. And every year we would have a party down at the mouth of the river. And we would invite people to the party, and we would give everybody a little bucket and put 2 fish in it. And it was their job to take those 2 fish and reintroduce them to the river. And people would take their 2 fish and walk up the river for 2 miles to find the right spot for their fish. They didn't know we were dumping 300,000 by helicopter, but that didn't matter. It was a great thing, but the parable of this was 25 years ago. It was before EI was in the act. It was before memorable visitor experience was a word. And we were doing what would be laser in on exactly what we were defining as the mission and mandate of our organization today. And this is what I love about Parks Canada. I think we have an enormous internal compass. People come, people go, but we've unerringly moved towards doing the right thing. So happy birthday, Parks Canada.